executive producer RJ here, just letting you know with either my face or my voice, depending on if you're watching the video or listening to the audio version, that things are going to be a little bit different in terms of how we're putting out the podcast. If you listen to the end of this episode, it will explain everything. Now, without further ado, here's the show.
Welcome to another episode of Stack Your Points. As always, I'm Matt from Matt Clausen YouTube channel, joined by RJ from Do You Take Cards? RJ, how are you today?
I am doing fantastic today, Matt. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Got a new card approval just before the weekend started, so I'm waiting for that. American Express seems to be over-promising and under-promising and over-delivering. So we'll see when I get the card.
How does it feel to be on the MR train now, Matt? I know this is not your preferred train, but it is a train.
I'm just going to ram those points into Hilton, so I'll probably just be fine. So we'll move on with Tariq. Tariq, how are you today, sir?
I am good. And sticking to the topics of cards, I'm slowly chipping away at my sub for the IHG Premier business. And I think by middle of next month, I should probably hit it. So gonna have a little over 140,000 IHG points to play with and start dabbling in that brand.
Fantastic. And we're also joined, as always, by, I'm just going to start calling him Professor Lani, but Lani from the Call Me Lani channel. How are you today, sir?
Why professor, may I ask?
Oh, you have all the knowledge, and you just happen to drop it.
Professors drop knowledge? Or do they give it willingly to their pupils?
You know, considering what sort of student I was, I can't fully answer that properly.
All right, take notes, everybody. Grab your notebooks. But I'm doing all right. Today was a good day. I'm not going to be mad at it. And to quote Ice Cube, that is. But yeah, and you mentioned Hilton, because I'll go ahead and drop the bomb right here. And this is not a flex alert, but I've already talked about over the last 2 weeks. If you have a United card, if you're not booking like crazy right now, you're literally leaving money and trips on the table. I have 2 trips at 2 different Waldorf Astorias, of course, Hilton properties, and I'm looking very forward to them.
Fantastic. Yes, I did mention that I got a new credit card before the beginning of the weekend. I was approached by American
We weren't recording when you said that, so I just said a whole bunch of stuff completely out of context. I just realized that.
No worries. So I recently was approved for the American Express Blue Business Plus. Got a nice welcome offer, an elevated welcome offer of 25,000 points on $3,000 in spend. And I can always move those points to Hilton, whether it's a transfer bonus or the regular 2-to-1. And since my previous card with American Express was the Hilton Honors, Hilton is a brand I like. So I have an easy place to put those points, and I do have some relatively large spend to hit with that card. And Blue Business Plus, no annual fee, seemed to be a win all around. Oh, and American Express decided to give me a $23,000 credit limit on that card.
Nice. I will add that in one of my Waldorf Astoria bookings, no one is a fan of the Amex travel portal. It's usually pretty bad. But if you have Amex Platinum, I got 30% off from the points redemption itself. It actually made it a very good redemption without having to transfer them out to Hilton. So FYI for all y'all listeners out there, go check it out.
And if you have the Platinum card, you have gold status with Hilton that gets honored automatically through the Amex portal.
Yes, sir.
So there we go. We're going to move over to, we have no news roundup for this week. There was the late breaking news about BILT and Walgreens, but we're going to talk about that another time, just because I think that's going to play more into the September rent day, which we still have no idea about. So we're going to skip news for this week, but we're going to move on to topics. And we're going to start topics off with, Lani, would you be willing to start with topics this week?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So a couple of things, and we touched on this earlier, but there are a lot of refreshes and even new cards, some confirmed, some rumored. Go check out Matt Clausen's channel for all the rumored cards that are potentially coming. But even new confirmed cards. There's also new partnerships coming, like the BILT+Walgreens partnership that Matt just mentioned a second ago. Once all these like new refreshes, new cards, new partnerships are announced, credit card YouTube starts going like crazy with worth it, not worth it, keep or cancel. This card is great. This card is trash. It's on fire. Everything's falling apart. It goes one way or the other. But you'll see all these new types of videos from creators, and that's not a knock against any creator. But the question is, and the thing is like still to this day, I was listening to another creator that brand new video, um, and we're still talking about like MX Gold refresh and $7 Dunkin' credit, like, and oh, this is a good, and oh, also this is bad. Well, instead of like all of that, I just wanted to ask the question today, and that is, what changes do you guys actually want to see with these credit cards? Like, first, grocery, Chase, someone, someone battle Amex with grocery, but like grocery, what type of changes do you actually want to see happen? So, with that, I know Matt, you've talked a lot being our host tonight, but I'm going to kick it to you first.
Sure. So what changes do I actually want to see? Some of the things that would actually excite me would be with Chase specifically on the Freedom cards, or Chase figuring out a way to make their cards more cohesive would be exciting. And that would be something I definitely want to see. So things I've mentioned in videos, and I'll beat these horses to death. And I'm sorry to the poor horses. Um, One, the Freedom Flex becoming the U.S. Bank Cash Plus card. You get to choose your 5% categories. You get to choose a 2 or 3% category, or they make gas a 3% category on the Freedom Flex, and they make grocery a 3% category on the Freedom Unlimited. And now you've got a reason to get both cards, which is what Chase wants you to do. And you've got that solid multiplier where dining is covered by one of the Sapphire cards. Now you've got the dining on the Sapphire card, the gas on the Freedom Unlimited, and the grocery on the Freedom Flex, or however I did it that first way, right? Now you've got that all cohesive. Now you have a reason to get each one of these cards to unlock this feature, because Chase isn't going to do one card to roll them all, which is fine. I want to see Capital One move beyond the 2x everything and like the one Saver One card. I want to see what their plan is going forward, because they have 9 trademarks, and that's a lot of darts to throw at the wall and potentially miss on all of them, because it's Capital One. They have a way of just cannibalizing themselves for no good reason. Wells Fargo right now, I've got nothing to complain about to Wells Fargo until they figure out the transfer partner list, until they announce more transfer partners. Like, I can live without grocery on Wells Fargo just because I want to see what else you're doing before I worry about grocery. And then US Bank, I want to see US Bank give us the ability to pool your points between the Altitude Connect, the Altitude Go, and the Altitude Reserve. That is the only request I have from US Bank. The ability to pool all those points would be amazing. So I think I've covered everything. I don't have a major wish list from American Express. Y'all do you just make the everyday cards like interesting, I guess, would be the only thing I'd ask from American Express. But like across the board, those are the things that I want to see happen. I don't really do keep or cancel. I don't really do is it worth it. All I'm going to do is that when the news announces on a card that I don't have, is just like, here are the changes. Do with this as you will. And I don't want to record that video again at 3:45 in the morning.
And BILT actually put a purpose behind their statuses. RJ.
Yeah, I forgot that one.
So I'm a huge fan of the Amex Business Gold because it is a choose your own adventure card, right? There are 6 categories. Whatever you spend for the top 2 that are the most, you get your 4x, you get 1x on everything else from the other categories, or just your catch-all, right? To me, that should be on more cards. I would love to see the business green be the same thing, maybe slightly different categories, but 3x. Because I think having a card where you have multiple categories and however people spend is how they sort of earn their points, I think is a much more powerful way to get multiple cards than simply having it be like, okay, this is my gas and grocery card, or this is that, or whatever. I also would like to see the Amex boost come to more cards just in general. I'm not speaking only for Amex. Either of these ideas just solely for Amex. I'd like to see others adopt them. But like on the everyday, the everyday and the everyday preferred's only superpower is if you hit 20 transactions on the everyday and 30 transactions on the everyday preferred, you get a boost in points, either 20% or 50%. So if that could come to something like a gold card or like a green card or any of the others, it would make more sense because Amex, one of the reasons that Amex becomes a coupon book is they want you to constantly be using your card or using their cards, because Amex specifically is the bank, is the payment processor. So they get all of those swipe fees. It's not like Chase, who has to cut in Visa or MasterCard, right? Like it's all Amex. So they want you to use their card. Well, you have this amazing system that makes people use their card. Like, put it on other cards. If they put the 20 times use your platinum card for a 20% boost in points, people would use it for more than flights, or the clueless people who use it for dinner because it's a flex. Like, people would start using the platinum card for things other than flights. And they don't, and I don't understand it. So I would love to see stuff like that, things that allow people to be flexible, things that allow people to use the cards without it feeling like a coupon book. Mostly so I don't have to hear people complain about it being a coupon book more than my own personal feelings on said coupon books. But things like that, I think, would be A, popular, and B, like, you could get a green because they have slightly different categories. You could get the gold because it has other categories and you have different levels of boost. Now you're able to sort of have your more flexible categories. Oh, I'm going on a road trip this month. I'm going to do gas. I usually don't do gas, so that's not a concern. It really could be a powerful setup. I'd like to see all issuers adopt that, not just Amex. So that's sort of where I am.
Yeah, the Platinum card is a subscription service with a metal membership card. I'm not taking it back. Tariq.
So I know Matt already touched up on some of them, and he already beat the hypothetical dead horse, but I am going to get the club because I'm going to beat it as well. That sounded really bad out of context. Anyway,
Sure did.
yeah, it's late, y'all.
That
Chase
doesn't help your
just
statement, by the way.
you know what? I'm gonna go
Let's
back
go.
into the corner. Anyway, yes, Chase, just give me gas and grocery, whether on the Freedom Unlimited with RJ's Product Change Chronicles. She's touched up on that. That's probably like the best thing they could have done with the Freedom Unlimited. Or just Chase, just I've said it before, just take the blue cash every day. Just literally just take a carbon copy and make it a UR point earning card, and I would even pay an annual fee for that. We've mentioned obviously, Wells Fargo getting their transfer partners needed. I would like to see Citi get just get American Airlines as a transfer partner, so it can be a big player. I know it's unlikely, but I mean, American Express has Delta, Chase has United. Nobody has Citi and nobody has American Airlines, and Citi is like the main issue for American Airlines cards. So that would be great. Another thing that I just thought about would be Bank of America getting into their travel game, whether it be having all their cards earning like a points multiplier point together, and even having a transfer partner, because between having like the premium rewards elite card, earning those points, and topping that with their preferred rewards, that could be like a really great strategy and say Bank of America has a transfer partner, I think they issue like the Alaskan Airlines card. That could be a very lucrative player into the points and miles game. And I think the last one I'm going to go with is just BILT just improving and, maybe getting rid of Roger Goodell because, 28-3. And then, of course, BILT adding gas and grocery. I think just a lot of cards just meet gas and grocery categories, but I know that's probably for a reason because a lot of people drive and a lot of people buy groceries, and I know that they're going to shell out a lot of points. But I mean, hell, I pay an annual fee if I can get like 4 or 5x gas and grocery, just not Amex Gold yet because, I pick my partners. So now back to the corner.
But here's my question to you. If the Amex Gold, like if Chase put out the exact Amex Gold card, would you get it?
Yes.
With 4x on
Yes.
grocery? Yes.
Yes.
I would cancel
Is that
my Amex Gold
like
tomorrow.
just straight up carbon copy
Straight
Amex
up carbon
Gold having
copy,
like
same
similar
annual
credits?
fee, identical, just moved over to Chase.
Yep. Take my money now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Just give me the card.
Yep.
So annual fee to you is negotiable, I hear. That's what I'm hearing through my big headphones is annual fee. You're scared of annual fee because Chase doesn't have good annual fee cards.
Do I still have cold feet when it comes to high annual fee cards? Yes. Would it help if it was Chase? Everybody has a price. And I value Chase points. I value our points pretty highly. And I would probably pay an annual fee if it was like a business gold where I can even pick, it'd be even better. I'd even go far as say yes to that more than just like the personal gold.
But gold will be gone if they made a carbon copy. But grocery category alone could 100% take me out of the Amex ecosystem. 100% walk. Like cash me out, wipe me out, book me out, whatever. Just get me out. Yep. But yeah. Matt, did you answer my question yet? You did. I went to you first, didn't I? Yeah, I went to you first. Okay, passing the mic.
Absolutely. We'll jump over to RJ, actually.
So I asked a question of our YouTube community because I was interested in mobile wallet. So I asked our community, do you use mobile wallet? And 31 people were nice enough to answer. About 30% either don't have it set up or have it set up but don't use it. And everybody else, it was actually split surprisingly even between 1 to 4 times a month, 5 to 12 times a month, or more than 12 times a month. Those are, of course, because of how days break down and weeks. So I love my mobile wallet. I use it a lot. Anytime I leave my house, the one time a week I do because I work from home and work an off shift, I'm basically using mobile wallet at everywhere except for nicer restaurants which don't use mobile wallet. You actually physically have to take your card out of your pocket. I really like being able to sort my cards that way. I can put whatever, if I'm working on a sub, I can slide that card down to be the first card that pops up. It's really handy to me. I don't necessarily know how all of you feel about mobile wallets, so I'm going to start with Tariq. My question is, do you use a mobile wallet, and how do you feel about mobile wallets?
So I do I have my mobile wallet set up. I like it. But I will say I don't use it as frequently as, anybody else, especially you. Um, I had, for the most part, like I use my Sapphire Preferred. I used it once because I didn't want to, I expedited the card, but I was going out of town. So I just added it to my mobile wallet so I could start working on the sub. And and I also have my Capital One Saver One on there because I don't use it like very often, but I like having it in my mobile wallet where on the one-off chance I'm out, whether I'm out with my girlfriend or friends, and we go to a Capital One cafe, I can just pull out the Saver One and I can get 50% off my drinks at the cafe. It's very useful. Other than that, I will put like when I'm out traveling, like when I was out in Chicago, I got my venture card. It was cheaper to just do it through the mobile wallet, and I would just pull out my phone, scan, ride the train. Gonna do that in DC when I get the metro. So I'll use it a lot for like transportation, public transportation as well, because it's just easier than just having a physical card because you're more than likely going to lose the card than you are going to lose your phone. Because I can speak on behalf of myself, I'm going to hold on to my phone a lot. And, unless I'm on the L, then that thing is staying on my pocket the entire time until I get off the train. Thanks, Lani. Really appreciate that info. So yeah, that's me. I am more physical wallet, pull the cards out, but every now and again, once in a blue moon, I will, just double tap my lock button on my iPhone and, scan.
So you don't put all of your cards in your mobile wallet. I'm also hearing that, correct?
Yes, I mean, let me pull up my mobile wallet right now. So I threw my Chase cards on there because I used to send money to my friend through Apple Pay. So I have my Chase debit card on there. I have my Blue Cash every day because there was like an Amex offer using Apple Pay like multiple times. So I have that on there, just never took it off. And then I wanted to test to see if I can just put a MasterCard because Chase is like weird with like adding the MasterCards to mobile wallet. So I just physically put the Freedom Flex in there. So I have one, two, three, four, five cards on my mobile wallet right now. In comparison, I have like 13 active cards. So yeah, no, I don't put every card on my mobile wallet.
Lani, do you use mobile wallet? Do you put all your cards on there? What are your general feelings?
Do I even need to answer this question? As the resident tech nerd, yeah, I've been using mobile wallets since mobile wallets were like in beta testing, like back in the old 2010 Android Pay days. Um, and I basically never stopped using them. Actually, when I was a former not former, I'm a former Verizon employee now, but when I was a current Verizon employee, one of the things that I did was actually ran the initiative to get people to change their terminals to tap and pay terminals for Verizon. They even did another campaign um, previously called ISIS, but then they changed it because of course, ISIS, and they changed it to soft card. I was actually one of the leaders, project leads for that campaign for Verizon across the nation. So you guys can actually thank me for that. So yes, I am nose deep in mobile wallets. So if I'm looking at my phone right now, not only I'm not gonna say I got every single card in there, but I probably got like at least 90% of them in there. I even have my digital PayPal direct link in there, which is not a PayPal card. It just comes out of my PayPal balance if I put money in there, which is a very safe way to save money. Just add money to your PayPal, use that. So that way obviously you protect yourself and you get the PayPal protections when you make those types of payments. I put all my loyalty cards, all my gift cards in my mobile wallet. Like it is thick. I even have my COVID-19 like vaccination card in my mobile wallet. And when I look at it, so I hope we don't get flagged because I said that word, the C word, but I actually have it in there. So I carry my digital COVID passport or whatever they call those things in there, my vaccination card digitally in my mobile wallet. So yeah, I am full into mobile wallets. And I'll even go as far to I'll even add this one last thing. There are a couple of places and ways where there are so many different types of scammers out there to help protect yourself, protect your information, protect your money. Where like if I'm at a gas station outside at the pump where you don't have to walk in, I will go as far to say if I can't tap, I don't pay. I'll just drive off because there's so many different types of skimmers and things out there. If you understand the technology on how mobile wallets work, then I guarantee you, if you're not using it now, you will because it's only a matter of time before if you're not using the little chip on your card, if you're still plugging it in or swiping it, you're probably closer to getting your information stolen or skimmed that way more than ever today than you were. So I If I can't use my phone, then I'm 100% like using the chip. That's like the instant plan B. So yes, I'm deep into mobile wallets. Every single phone that I own has my wallet on it.
I
And
knew
two of
your
my tablets.
I knew what your answer was going to be. I kind of got a sense for Tariq. I am completely lost on how Matt is going to answer these questions. So, Matt, the floor is yours. Your feelings on mobile wallet. Do you use it in general? And how many cards do you have on it?
All right, so let me just say I have 14 credit cards, 15 is on the way. 14 credit cards are in my mobile wallet. I'm in year 3 of this current iPhone 13 Max Pro. Um, I am abusive to batteries, so currently this year I am not as mobile wallet heavy as I would like to be because I am constantly charging my phone and not bringing my phone out of the car necessarily all the time to pay at the gas pump or bring it in with me to use. Yeah, I mean to do the watch, and I should do the watch, but I'm not as great with the watch as I am with the phone. And Lani is judging me, and I'm sorry. Um, so 14 cards, they're all in there. My World of Hyatt digital key card is in my wallet. My World of Hyatt status card is in my wallet. My Priority Pass is now in my wallet. My AAA membership is now in my wallet. My Aeroplan membership, my my Sapphire Priority Pass to get into the Sapphire lounges is in my wallet. My rental car statuses are all in my wallet. Love mobile wallet. There's a reason I want Wells Fargo to look in a mobile wallet. There's a reason I want Chase to look in a mobile wallet. There's a reason I want a mobile wallet category across the board. I want to pay with my phone and get a little more points out of the gate. I will actually use it at grocery stores to pull up the Saver One. I don't carry the Saver One physically on me anymore. Half the time, if you ask me where my Saver One physical card is, I may not be able to tell you, but I know it's on my mobile wallet. So I know exactly where it is.
My Dunkin' Donuts digital gift card is in my mobile wallet.
Mine is. I use that thing so much. So I don't have all of my cards on my phone's mobile wallet, but they're all on my watch's mobile wallet because the problem with the iPhone is once you have enough cards in there, the bottom card, which is the card you actually are using first, is hidden, and that drives me nuts because I can't tap on it to see because it'll give me my list of transactions to double check. And because it hides it, it drives me nuts. So I take a couple of cards out, but they're always on my watch. And if I'm out of my house, the watch is on my wrist. If I'm in my house, the watch is on my wrist. I usually charge it for like 30 minutes on lunch when I'm laying in bed, trying to contemplate getting up and going back to work. So yeah, I always have my watch with me, so I always have all of my cards with me, but my phone is missing a couple because just the UI drives me nuts. But I have loyalty cards, I have Priority Pass that I will never use because I fly Delta. I have all of the things in there. I even put my hotel stays, the little card that reminds me of like when the hotel stays are through Hilton and Marriott, just so I have the
Boarding
visual
passes.
reminder. Boarding passes go in there. If there is a card for it, I will put it in there. Also, BJ's and Sam's Club, please like let me put my membership cards in there without hacking it because it drives me nuts. Thank you.
Yep.
But you also touched on one thing there too, RJ, is the only reason why I put a majority of my cards in my mobile wallet. One, not just because I like the ease of use of using my mobile wallet, but my everyday carry wallet, I only put in like maybe like if I leave the house right now, I'm only leaving the house with maybe two, maybe three of my credit cards. I don't. Yeah, there's a very slim extra wallet that Matt's holding up for the audio only listeners at right now. I think that only holds what, 5 cards? 6 if
If
they're
you're lucky.
all flat.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't have any Chase embossed cards, you can get 4 in there. But
Yes.
but that's the other thing is sometimes like I might leave a particular card at home, like my metal subscription Amex Platinum card, and I know I have, for example, like a Oakley offer or a Lululemon offer or something like that, and I don't take it with me because the card's pointless to carry around. It's kind of heavy too. I always got my mobile wallet there that I could use. So That's another reason why I put almost every card in there, but also one of the reasons why I really lean into it is because I can always have that. Especially for y'all international travelers out there, it comes in handy all across Europe and Asia. Period, hands down. Like they are so far ahead of us in the mobile wallet game. It's not even funny. If you pull out a physical card, they don't know what to do sometimes. They will take your money, but I've seen mom and pop shops like, dude, you're really about to hand me a card? Like COVID ain't fully over yet. Like people are still catching it. Like, no, we only do tap and pay, including United only does tap and pay or a digital wallet.
And until we get digital ID cards, one of your slots in your extra wallet has to be your ID.
It's on the way though.
Oh, it is.
It's in 2 states out of 50 right now, but it's on the way.
I have an app with a mobile ID that I put my that's from New York State. But yeah, no, we're working on it. It's slowly getting there. I think it's Arizona and Ohio that are the two.
It's Arizona, I believe, is one of them. The other one is either Massachusetts or Maine. I think it begins with an M. It's an M state. Either way, I ain't in the 2 states.
No, and being where you are, it's probably gonna be one of the last states to do it.
And unfortunately, I know Illinois is working on it right now, and I don't live in Illinois anymore, so I'm kind of upset. I really don't want to carry a wallet at all anymore.
I'm pretty
Meanwhile,
sure I'm in one of those last states that's going to implement the digital IDs. Yeehaw.
But you'll have a digital hunting license, which for your state might be more important.
Ma'am, it is not a digital hunting license. It's a different card, but monetization and flags, I'm just not worried about that one. We'll just say CC. And if you know, you know, and I'm not talking about credit card.
Yeah. So anyway, let's move on to my topic, and we'll close out with Tariq's because this is the most in depth. So my topic, I recently came across. Well, not recently. I'm aware of how hotel chains do their free night awards, and typically it is there are caps and there are different types of awards that they can give you. If you're in the Hyatt ecosystem, Hyatt has category 1 to 4 free night awards, then they have category 1 to 5 free night awards, then they have category 1 to 7 free night awards based on sort of how many stays you've done and what your loyalty with them is and all of that. No, 1 to 4 can typically get you about $300 a night, 300 to $400 a night. Marriott does the same thing. IHG does the same thing. I believe I'm not aware of any other of the minor programs having free night awards as well. I know Marriott, IHG, Hyatt, and then there's Hilton. Hilton does not have a cap on their free night awards whatsoever. Hilton will let you stay a night at the Waldorf with a free night certificate. Now, it just has to be a standard night. It can't be a premium night. But everyone else has, Marriott has 35,000 point nights that you can top up to 50,000 point nights. Then they've got 85,000 point nights that you can top up to 100,000 point nights. Why? Just, I want to see folks, and I understand that there's a P&L aspect to this, and I understand that, you know, it is a spreadsheet that they have to do, but what do we have to do to get uncapped free nights everywhere across the board? Like, if you can't uncap it, I think you just shouldn't bother with it. And that would suck for Hilton. It would suck for Hyatt. It'd be fine for Hilton because Hilton is the leader here. Hotel loyalists first. Do you guys have any feelings about your capped free night awards? And I'll start with Tariq on this one.
So, as of the date of this recording, I am one Hyatt brand away from hitting my first brand explorer. So I'm going to get a free night cert. I think it's a category 1 through 4. I'll have to go back and I'll have to double check and take a look. Regarding that, obviously it would be great if it was uncapped. But for me in my use case, There are a decent amount of good Hyatt properties that are category 3 and 4. So like just in my home in San Antonio, the highest category you can find is a category 5, and that's the Hyatt Regency Hill Country Resort. The Hyatt Regency downtown and the Grand Hyatt downtown are both category 3s. So on that sense, I'm fine. I can go up to Austin. I can find some, I think the Regency up there is a category 4, if I'm not mistaken. So I think Hyatt, I'm okay with it being capped since it's capped at the category. And I can just go find like a category 4 or a really nice category 3 that even off peak is going to cost me, I think like 17,000 points or something like that per night. So in that sense, I'm fine with it. I do have the IHG business card. I won't get that free night certificate until next year, obviously, when I pay the second annual fee. I think you can. I'm trying to look up to see like how much you can top off of. I'm seeing like 10,000 points. So like sure you can 40,000 point certificate. They can get up to 10,000 points. That would be nice if it was uncapped, especially because from like what I've seen, IHG and even in this case, like Marriott's are like more points expensive. So like 40,000 points, if you get there, it's not going to get you like always like a nice property. Like there's the Intercontinental downtown. I just looked, and right now it's looking at you're gonna do like I think like 51 or 52,000 points for a night. Same with the Kimpton in San Antonio as well. So like it would be nice if you can, even if it's just jumping through the hoops like Hilton, where you gotta call them and let them know that you're wanting to book the free net certificate. I think that is worth the hoop to jump if you're gonna get an uncapped night at like whatever hotel you stay at. So I think Hilton does that great. So for Hyatt, I guess I'm okay with it being capped with the categories because you can find like really good value in those certain categories. Hilton, IHG, and Marriott, yeah, let's just uncap them and call it a day.
Sure. Lani?
So before I answer your question, jumping back to mobile driver license, just recently, as of August of 2024, and isn't that where we're at right now? Arizona, California, Colorado, Delaware, Georgia, Iowa, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, Missouri, New York, Ohio, and Utah, and Puerto Rico, which is not a state yet. Waiting on it. So there you go. So you can do mobile driver's license, and once we're done recording, I will be setting mine up. Anyway, jumping back to your questions about the free night awards caps, I don't think they can remove the caps. Now, on the surface, like Hyatt Free Night Award, Hilton Free Night Award, I don't have either of those cards, so I don't have those types of certificates. But as we all know, I've mentioned this earlier in previous episodes that I recently got my IHG card that does two particular things. You could have got an offer for 4 free nights as a welcome offer, or 5 free nights, which is the current one, or they do fourth night free. The fourth night free is actually a really good one because it's kind of just based on the 3 nights you already used your points for. They just give you the fourth night for free. You just get an extra day added on to it, which is great. But the reason why I say that you can't really uncap it, because if you just said you get 1 free night, and let's just say it is a Waldorf Astoria, then how come I'm not getting the presidential suite? Granted, someone probably already booked it on their free night certificate, but there has to be some type of limitation to it to help prevent that. And as we know, that's why it's like, oh, you can get a standard room for your certificate, not necessarily like the presidential suite or a 2-bedroom suite or anything like that. So yeah, that's why I don't think that they can. I understand why you feel like they should, but I just don't think it's feasible or it's just going to cause so much headache because it's like, oh, I want to use my free night certificate, but there's nothing available. Then that just kind of ruins the program, and people are kind of like, turned off on it because they're not getting what they feel is a great value. Same way as we discussed with the IHG Premier, why didn't I switch it to the um, 5 free nights on the 4,000 Ks sub? I'm like, well, it caps off at 60, and the intercontinentals and the Kiptons that I want to stay at and the places I want to stay at, I couldn't either. It's over 60 and I got to do extra, or it's way under 60 and I'll just lose out on those remaining points. What if it's 40? Then I lose out on 20,000 points because it's not up to 60. It's up to 60, but it's not 60. You know what I mean? So it's like one free night is up to 60, but you picked a room that was only worth 40. So you just forfeited your other 20. There's no real way around it. I think the structure that they have in place is the best that we can receive at the moment.
Now, as a follow-up for you guys specifically before I jump to RJ, if instead of the free night award, you were to be offered, like, for Hyatt, whatever a redemption at a category 4 would be 4 points, or the 60,000 points from IHG, would you rather jump on the extra points or get an uncapped free night from that hotel issuer? And I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but just want to be clear.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the latter and not the former there. So like if it's the IHG, just give me 300,000 points. Don't give me 5 worth 60K. Just give
Yep.
me just give me 300K. And if I burn it all at once, I burn it all at once. But who cares? So I just saved your business some money. I kept a room free because I spent all my money, all my points on one giant room versus spreading them across 5 or 6 different rooms.
So, Tariq, free night or grab you some more points?
So my answer, it depends. For IHG, I'm siding with Lani. Just give me like the 40,000 points instead of the free night cert, because I can probably do more with that. Hyatt, I'm still okay with, like I said, I'm still okay with the category cert, mostly because they're doing like the peak and off peaks and whatnot. And so like, yeah, I can get like what, 15,000 points for like a free night cert. But like, say I want to book it at category 4 and it's like 18,000 points or however much it is, it would be a top up, but I could book that same category with it being a peak night and I still get the value for it. So IHG, yes. Hyatt, no.
RJ, any thoughts here?
I hate free night certificates and I avoid cards that give them. Now, if it's you just get one every year, but you had a sign up bonus with points, then I'm fine with that because whatever. But like the Marriott business card, I'm not getting unless they change the sub to not be free nights. Because for me, I want points because I can do more. Sometimes I do cash and points depending on what it is and what the breakdown is. Sometimes that just works better for my situation. Sometimes I get the free room and the people I'm traveling with give me money. They don't need to know that I booked mine on points. That's between me and whatever deity I believe in. So it becomes this thing where if I have points, things are more flexible for me. So I avoid them when I can. And I'm a Hilton fan and I still kind of avoid them because I don't want to have to deal with the extra stuff, the cruff that comes with it, right? I don't have to deal with any of that. I want to have my points. I want to book my room. I want to know what I'm getting. I want life to be as I have intended when I book this trip. So yeah, for me, I avoid it. If I have one, if somebody bequeathed it to me, would I use it? Yes. Would I grumble a little bit? Potentially, but there are very few things in life that I don't grumble at least a little bit. But I that's who I am as a person. I've grown up to be Garfield, and this is where we are in life.
Totally fair. Yeah, I'd much rather have the points, and after redeeming a Hilton free night award, and then being pushed to a signing up for a Hilton timeshare right after. I know I could have ended the call before I got to the Hilton timeshare portion of the things, but that being part of the push did sour things a little bit, but I still would take the uncapped room at the Waldorf and then roll the dice on a upgrade, especially if I had the Hilton Aspire, because that would be a pretty nice upgrade. And I just want to get a free uncapped night at the JW Marriott and the Parquet Hyatt as well, because I'm greedy. So let's move on to our last topic of the night. That would be Tariq.
All right, I guess I got the philosophical topic again, so that's why I'm going last. So my topic, I was going through YouTube videos and I was ended up watching a good buddy Michael Wong from Wong Way Travels. He posted a video, it was like 2 weeks ago, titled "Is Getting New Credit Cards an Addiction?" And it had me thinking of me starting to point some miles in credit cards and think about how many cards that I've accumulated in the last like 6 months since I got my first one. So I got the Freedom Flex in January, February of this year. I got the Sapphire Preferred in May. I got the Ink Unlimited in June, and I'm working on the IHG Premier Business. I got that like a week or two ago. Almost gonna hit that sub, and now that I know I'm gonna hit that sub, I'm already looking for the next card to hit. And whether it be like a smash and grab sub card or something that I will look into my more long-term strategy and keep. Right now, I'm looking at that the Hyatt business, mostly because I like Hyatt stays, and I'm like, okay, cool, I can smash and grab 200, and it'll actually somewhat put me at bay because I'm gonna actually try to do the 2-tier bonus. But it had me think, am I addicted to getting new cards in the credit card game? Not to like an extent where I'm piling up debt and overspending and whatnot, but just the kind of like to me, it's almost like getting a hit and like getting that new like rush of like, oh, got approved. Oh, cards in the mail. Oh, time to activate it. Put it in my mobile wallet and just like spend, hit the bonus. And I'm like, could I stop? Like, obviously the answer is yes, but like, do I want to? And like, I've already got like 13 cards, and I already plan on opening like maybe another one or two this year. And then like, I already have like 4 cards mapped out for next year, and then like another 2 cards like the year after that. So I'm like, yeah, kind of an obsession. So I just want to think, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna just ask the group today and see what they think. If they think that having like opening new cards or playing the game, credit cards is an addiction. And Lani, I think I'm just gonna start with you this time.
I actually like this question. Um, the short answer is yes, but the tenure of it can be different. So at some point, we all get there where we're like, the endorphins, the dopamine effect, it all kicks in at some point, at some level. It doesn't mean it's going to be like astronomical level, but at some point you're like, "Ooh, man, I got that sign up bonus, and I got my new card, and for the next like 2 months and 28 days, it only said I had like 300 something points, and then tomorrow you see it says you have 80,000 points or 100,000 points. You're like, oh, snap. Like, oh, like it's time to book something, right? Like you really feel good that you've accomplished something. So that's what I mean at all levels. Now, some of us are going to be, as Tariq, as you mentioned, way more addicted to it or have way more dopamine effect than someone else, maybe like a novice or a beginner. For that novice or a beginner, as you had mentioned, once you get to like your fourth card, fifth card, it's probably going to be a little bit higher. But because of that, with everything that always happens, especially with endorphins and dopamine, it goes up and it comes down, unless it's a drug and you're literally addicted to that drug, then there's a different story. But if you're not addicted to drug, maybe you just like Diet Coke. Eventually you get tired of Diet Coke. You can't drink it for the entire life. Eventually you're going to come off of that where you lose that, call it a high, if you will. Um, but so to answer your question, yes, at some point we all will in this credit card game. If you start getting into the fives, tens, 15s, at some point between 1 and 15, yeah, you're gonna have you're gonna have like a credit card addiction. Period. Maybe it's only 3 cards, maybe it's 4, or whatever, but you're gonna have to go through it. But that's just natural. And like I said, it's the same as what's the difference between obsession, passion, and love? They're just different levels of the exact same thing, and you're going to feel it in this credit card game. But does that mean that we're all addicted? No. I think I'm on the way down where I'm literally, I look at new credit cards in a very strategic manner. Do I really need to sign up for another card? I think we talked about this, like the Ink Business Preferred with the 20K. And I was like, I'm passing on it. Me at a different point in my life, maybe even a couple of years ago, especially if it was before during COVID, where sign up bonuses were coming in easy. Oh yeah, I would have been, got to get it, got that itch. Where's it at? Give me that new sign up bonus. 'Cause I was stacking up so many points during COVID because everyone was traveling less. But now that I'm starting to travel again, I don't really care about the credit cards as much as I talked about, like how we opened up the show. I'm getting my dopamine effect on using all these points that I was able to accumulate over that 4 year period where I'm looking at my trips and things like that. And like, I just sat with my wife the other night. We just booked 2 or 3 more trips. And we're like, man, we got like 1 trip a month for almost the next year at minimum. Like that's, so I've kind of like switched. To answer your question, the short answer is yes. You will have a credit card addiction at some point if you start getting in this game. Somewhere after, I would probably say 4 or 5 cards is when it kicks in. Could be later, could be sooner. It will fall off, but it will also transition into something else. Either you just kind of get out of the game, or like I said, I'm right now transitioning my addiction or high to actual bookings, which is going to turn into the actual travels themselves.
Yeah, it's definitely a different case because I am year one of points and miles. So I'm like earning all the miles, and like I got hit with the elevated sapphire preferred offer. So I'm like, okay, give me all the points, give me all the miles. But I'm also redeeming at the same time. So I'm getting it like twofold for me.
Yeah, and I would actually say this community does not help. We are also enablers in it as well. So, um, end of last week, Matt and I were having a private conversation. We were just chatting back. Was it last week, Matt? Where we were just like, got all these miles, and like, you should go burn your miles and buy a TV. Let's go buy a laptop with our miles. And it's like, we don't help when, as someone that's getting into the game like Tariq is, but then you have someone like RJ or Matt or myself where I'm like, oh, I got 400,000 on this card, 400,000 on that card. I just got another 500,000 because I got these 2 chase cards earlier, or 2 or 3 chase cards earlier this year. And you're sitting there with like, man, I only got 80. I gotta get up like the rest of them. We're enablers in this too. So there's so many different
yes.
levels, but yes, at some point you're gonna feel addicted. You're gonna be keeping up with the Joneses. You're gonna be itchy in the neck, getting them red rocks. Yeah, you're gonna get there, but it'll it'll pass.
Y'all got any more of them sign up bonuses? Need one of them little subs. All right, RJ. I know you are outside of Chase's good graces, and you've hit you went high velocity yourself. Where do you sit on the stance of credit card addiction?
So I've gotten 12 credit cards in 2024. Um,
Okay, I think I know the answer.
Amex keeps approving me. What can I say? We're friends. I scratch their back, they scratch mine. 9 of my 12 are Amex cards. So Amex and I are on very good terms right now.
Going back to feeling itchy, Amex is your dealer at this point.
But here's the
They are
thing.
a good dealer. They
Here's the
say,
thing.
"Yeah, I got that." The
I
Amex is just
don't,
like at your corner.
the only card I will ever carry a balance on is the Blue Business Plus because it's 0 APR right now. So if I have something I want to pay off in 3 months, I just stick it on the Blue Business Plus and just pay it off in 3 months, right? So I think that's the difference. I think, yes, is there a dopamine high on getting a new card, that feeling of I got approved for this? Yes, when I got my gold card and my platinum card, did I feel like oh, like cool, like moment, even though, it's not that hard to get the gold or the platinum in the current market, but did it feel good? Yeah. But there's not that overspending to the point where I'm in trouble, right? I'm not, my car's not in danger of being repossessed. My house isn't in danger of being repossessed. Anything like that's not happening, right? There's no negative consequences to these cards. Does it hurt my soul a little bit when that $695 for the business platinum is going to come out in a few weeks? Yes. The place where my soul would be is in pain, but such is life for those 250,000 points that will come my way after we put a new HVAC system in my house. So, positive, negative. But to be serious for a second, I think if you're getting new cards but not overspending, then I would probably say that's not an actual addiction, like in the actual need to seek help way, right? Like if you have a total of 15 cards and less than $1,000 of actual balance across all of those cards, and you can pay that off every month and you're not, in danger of anything, I think you're okay, right? I also think, as somebody who has a bunch of cards, and I think I'm probably at the midpoint on this podcast, you start diluting spend. Like my platinum, I don't have as much of platinum doesn't really have balance, but my pay over time balance has gone down, which is an indication of what Amex would reasonably let me put on that card because there isn't a limit. So I have to sort of guess, right? Because you don't tip for new people, don't play with the spend limit tool in Amex. That will eventually get some negative things to come your way, right? So I don't do that tool. So I use the pay as you go balance as sort of an indicator. That has gone down a little bit, not to any place that I'm scared of, but like like my spending is less on the platinum because I have other cards to spend on. So those are things that you have to negotiate, right? If you get a lot of cards, which I love getting new cards, right? Like I got 3 cards in June, within like a week and a half of each other. Everything was great. I felt awesome. And, the reality is that those cards are cards that I wanted, cards that I had a reason to get. Everything is good. But if I start getting to the point where if you like at this point of my credit journey, not at the beginning where I don't know what I'm doing and you get Capital One cards because you don't understand how points work. No offense to Capital One fans, but seriously. But like if I just randomly went out and got the, Capital One Saver one right now, like that's a cry for help, right? Because my points and miles journey is in a place where that card doesn't make sense, but I was pre-approved for it, so I wanted it. Like that's the cry for help, right? Like when you start doing things like that, I got the card because I was pre-approved and wanted a new card, but the sub doesn't make sense and the spend doesn't make sense and none of that makes sense. That's when I think we're crossing the territory into a very detailed plan and a very passionate hobby to a potential problem. And I think you, Tariq, are sometimes flirting with that line, but you do have a very clear plan in place, which I think makes it not, am I nervous for you sometimes? Am I actually like gonna like text your girlfriend and be like, hey, maybe take his social security number away from him so he can't apply for anything new for a little while? No, we're not there yet, right? Like it becomes that moment where, yes, do you want a new card? Yes, but you have a reason for that card. Having a reason for the card makes it less dangerous. You're not carrying balances. You're not doing things like that. So I think passionate hobby is a way station on the view of addiction. If you're not overspending, you're okay.
Yeah, the credit card dilution thing is definitely a real thing because, like I said, just working on the IHG Premier Business, which, yes, I got that card because I'm eventually going to stay at an IHG this year. Um, I've put, all the spend that I was putting on like my Sapphire Preferred on like dining has been going on the IHG, so I can just earn the sub and earn the points on that. And yeah, I am definitely more on detailed plan with them. Like I said, Hyatt Business is the only exception because I'm like, okay, cool, 75,000 points. I'll get like the 5 night credits and like, cool. Am I paying a little bit more because I'm going to pay the $200 fee? Yeah, sure. But I'm still like on detailed plan and not to where I'm at needing 12-step plan. Um, that's where I fall on that. Matt, where do you stand on this? I know you've had a few Wells Fargo cards, especially the Signify Cash for some subs. So, what's your take?
So I largely resonate with what RJ said, and I resonate with Lani as well. I think as long as to parrot RJ, as long as you have a plan for the spend, if you're getting 0% cards and you're able to finish your 0% without a balance, I think that's fine. I think there comes a line, and it can kind of come. The dopamine hits are definitely nice. I know that I haven't applied for 12 cards this year, but I have gotten at least 5 between the JetBlue Business, the Wells Fargo Signify, the Wells Fargo Attune, the Ink Cash. I just got the Blue Business Plus. So yeah, that's 5. I'm trying to remember if I forgot a card. No, because I haven't gotten any personal cards this year besides the Attune. Um, I think if you're able to pay everything off and you have your plan to pay everything off, that's great. I think if your strategy and your thinking becomes, oh, how am I going to turn this card into another card in the same family so that I can use that card's features to spend as much as I need to for that and build out my spend to such a way that I am spending, 10, 15, $20,000 a month to keep getting points that accrue into this big pile that I have no idea how I'm going to use. I think that's a problem. And even if you can pay it off, like if your mindset is, how do I take this card, turn it into another card because this other card has this other thing that I need to do to tell myself that it's okay, that becomes a problem. But if you have a set plan for your cards, if you have an idea of what your cards are going to do, what roles your cards are playing, and you are able to, stay on top of everything, I don't think it's necessarily a problem because you can always change tactics. Like I keep primarily transferable currencies, and like I'm trying to build transferable currencies at all times. Why? Because I want to be able to, if I need to move 20,000 points to United to book a United economy seat to like hurt my soul, I can do that. Or if I need to move, 10,000 points over to JetBlue to redeem a JetBlue flight, cool. Or if I want to liquidate some points to buy another Breeze ticket, I want to have that flexibility. So for me, it's keeping those points transferable. But if something makes sense for me or is in an ecosystem that I like Hyatt, getting a Hyatt card in time doesn't hurt or like add to an addiction because I have a plan for that card. It's when you're just getting cards when you have no idea what to do with them. Like at this point, I don't see myself getting any city cards anytime soon, unless I have a need for city. So I think if there's a plan, I think if there's a way that, the cards can work for you and you're in tune with what your plan is, that's great. If you're just trying to get, your 15th, your 20th, your 35th city customized cash card so that you can do 35 times $500 a month, no. But if your strategy is, I've got 3 custom caches. These are the rules they play for $1,500 a month. Okay, maybe. But I'm just starting to repeat myself here, so I do apologize for that. As long as you have a plan for things, you're good. The dopamine hits are great, and as long as you have like an off ramp for yourself, you're in good shape. So I think I'll leave it there.
So United hurts your soul, but JetBlue is cool.
No. Booking United Basic Economy would hurt my soul. Like I'll sit in Comfort Plus. I'll sit or like the United equivalent
Economy
of Comfort
Plus,
Plus.
yeah.
Economy Plus. Like booking that last row in the middle, right next to the bathroom. I don't want to sit there. I want to sit somewhere nice.
Yeah, nobody wants to sit there.
Nobody
People don't even
does.
put their kids there. But going back to the initial question there, Tariq. In this community, man, I know a lot of people that just got really addicted or hyped or dopamine hit on a white gold Amex card, and that faded so fast.
Oh, it was like a rush, and then back
I
to
think the
regular
rush was
CCYT
actually
program.
applying for it versus actually having it. Like
It wasn't even the application. It was the speculation. It was like everyone was standing at speculation station just waiting for the train to get there because they don't know what the train's going to look like or where it's going to go, but we know there's a train
I'm not
coming.
talking about the benefits or the changes. I'm talking about the actual physical white
Oh
gold.
yeah,
getting the card.
that is true.
White gold is beautiful. I don't want to hear it.
I agree. I love it.
We
I'm not
knew
switching
somebody
back.
that was on the station.
I got mine in my physical and my digital wallet.
I do also.
I just love that people were like so completely underwhelmed when they actually saw the physical card that it almost made like the hype for it like just hilarious.
People don't understand Amex, and it's okay. Amex, you can keep giving me cards and I will keep loving you because that's the relationship we have, and they just don't understand us.
RJ,
Creepy.
are you okay?
I love Amex the way Matt loves Wells Fargo. That's where I'm leaving it
I don't
tonight.
think Matt loves Wells Fargo the way you love Amex. Because Matt is still quite critical of Wells Fargo. I don't think I've ever heard you throwing a criticism at Amex's way yet.
I throw criticisms at Amex all the time. The worst card on the current worst card on the market is an Amex card.
I mean, yes, but it's like one of those that you can just like ignore.
Do you know which card I'm talking about is the question.
You brought it up earlier today.
No, I didn't.
What?
Well, not
Are you
really.
talking about the cash magnet?
No.
Okay.
Business Green.
Oh yeah.
The Business Green is the worst card on the market. Anyway, no, I'm critical of Amex all the time. Like, I just, this is an entertainment podcast, so I gotta play it up a little bit, Tariq. Come on now.
Fine, fair enough.
Look, Amex has hidden subs and they do 4x on groceries. And as someone with a toddler that spends a lot on groceries, they're good. They're good. They work out. It just works.
So before we get too into placating our preferred issuers of choice, we'll wrap it up there. The last thing I did want to say is that for everyone on this podcast, for those of you listening to the podcast, just remember that when it comes to the general credit card population, we are not normal, but we are loving every minute of it.
We are basking in our weirdness.
Hey, Matt, do you want to tell the people how this podcast is about to change wildly?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's jump into that. So we are breaking up the podcast into a couple of different means for engagement on YouTube. So there will be a basic segment that is going to come out on Mondays. We will have Wednesdays now is going to be our Q&A, I believe is Wednesday.
Wednesday is going to be the main show, which is going to be the topics and if there's any news. And then Friday will be the Q&A. Saturday, I'm going to post the entire show. So if you want start to finish, you can listen to that on Saturday. But we're going to break it up because Sometimes we go a little long on Q&A or topics or whatever, and it's nice to have an hour chunk instead of a 2-hour chunk.
Or today, 2.5. So with that, RJ, if folks want to find you, where's the best place to find you on the interwebs?
You can find me answering comments to this podcast because Tariq still hasn't put up a YouTube channel, but when he does, you can find me at Do You Take Cards?
And Lani, where can we find you?
I got nothing funny tonight. You're gonna find me in bed. It is absolutely late, y'all. So I know you're probably watching this at like 9, 10 a.m. or listening to this at 9, 10 a.m. It is not that time when we're recording it. So I got nothing funny. But I am on YouTube at my channel name is Call Me Lani, all one word. Lani spelled Lani. Come over, say hi, say you came to the podcast. Hit that subscribe button. I really do appreciate it. I'm actually pushing my way towards 3,000 right now. So I would really appreciate your support.
Fantastic. Tariq, where can we find you on the internet since it's not a YouTube channel?
Well, you can find me at Lot C of the Alamo Dome because football season is back and I am an avid UTSA football fan. So, I'll also be in the Second Points podcast, Discord. But other than that, God bless and birds up.
RJ, I'm so sorry that it's going to be like March before you're able to upload again.
Oh, yeah. College football's back. Don't even... You picked the wrong time.
Don't even have to put a video out, sir. Just start the channel.
Start a channel. Just start a channel. Just start a channel. Just start a channel. If you want to leave us comments, please do on the YouTube channel. Find us on your favorite podcatcher of choice, be it Icecast, Pocket Cast, Castro, Overcast, Apple Podcasts, Audible, Spotify. I am running out of, I think Pandora does podcasts now. Wherever you find your podcasts, we are there. Leave us a comment down below on the YouTube channel if you want to as well. Leave us those 5-star reviews. We will talk to you guys next week. Thanks for watching.
Real quick, Matt. Real quick, before we officially bow out, going back to Tariq starting his channel. For all y'all that are listening here, I know we just started this a couple of weeks, maybe a couple months ago. Let's do a digital petition. In the comments, say, Tariq, you start a channel and I will subscribe. That's at least 100 subscribers right there, Tariq. So we get enough people.
But then I got to actually post the video because I'm going to have like a ton of something subscribers.
Shut up.
That was never the deal.
Shut up.
That was never the deal.
I'm still talking because this is for the people that are supporting you and listening to you and your nonsense week after week after week. If they drop it in the comments saying, I will support Tariq's new channel or Tariq must create a channel, you cannot ignore the listeners and viewers of RJ, Matt, and myself. Thus, you have to do it. And we know we're kicking you off right because all these people are also going to sub to your brand new channel as well. I think we need a digital petition. We're not asking you anymore. The community's asking. Your listeners are asking. Are you going to ignore your listeners? Because you're not going to ignore my listeners, and I'm pretty sure RJ and Matt feel the same. Thank you very much, y'all. Y'all have a great night.
I hate y'all. I love the viewers, but I'm talking to my 3 co-hosts. I hate y'all right now.
Again, you don't have to post a video. You just have to start the channel. Put up a little community post. Channel coming soon. UTSA football first.
That's it. UTSA basketball.
Sir, you're pushing your luck. With that,
the reason why I'm in the corner.
Thanks for watching Second Points. We'll be back next week. Thanks as always.